Hey folks, happy Pride. I'm doing this. I was going to do a fancy video and try and figure out some theatrics and all kinds of stuff, but here I am in my kid's bedroom, just doing with my COVID hair, just doing a poem. It's a newer poem for me. And yeah, I want a big shout out to all the Pride crew. I want to mention Cashel specifically because she's the one who asked me and encouraged me to do this stuff. So happy to be in the book. So happy to be doing the video. And happy Pride. I hope you're as well as can be given the circumstances. Here's a poem. This is untitled, really. It's a poem in 5 parts. A couple things I wanted to say about the poem. I'm doing it here in the bedroom. You can see I painted a Philadelphia Pride flag on my kid's wall in the bedroom, so you can see part of that in the background. That was really important for me, not only to have a Pride flag, but to have a Philadelphia Pride flag in her room. This poem is untitled. It was written inspired by the song Paralytic States by the band Against Me, who of course is led by the amazing, iconic trans figure Laura Jane Grace, who I look up to immensely. Here we go. As was, by the way, my poem in the magazine, Making Ourselves Up As We Go Along, which was also inspired by a different Against Me song. So here we go. 1. We were sitting in my now deceased car parked in front of Shoppers Drug Mart within an aggressively average strip mall in a better than middle class neighborhood in the west end of Edmonton in the dead of winter in the midst of the holiday season 2017. I'm about to go in for some sort of toiletry necessity, in for what we forgot. I won't ever forget what my mom said, totally out of the blue. So Trev, do I still have a son? I do forget my exact response, stumbled and caught completely off guard by the question, but I know it involved some sort of yes. And nothing has changed all these years later. The answer will always be some sort of yes. 2. When I look in the mirror, I still see my mother's son, faded yet ever present. My mother's daughter is in the foreground now, but when the question was posed in the dead of winter in 2017, they were co-stars, a young lady destined for stardom, an aging leading man who never found quite the right role, now retired and happy to become a network of trusses supporting this young lady. Trusses built of privilege, enjoyed but unearned, forged in a childhood furnace fueled by fables and maxims of masculinity, overpowering femininity. He's trying to forget the polemics of patriarchy. He once wielded them. He wasn't always a good person. He won't forget this. He steps back so she can step forward, never forgetting how scared he was to be feminine. Yet, so is she, this ever-evolving trans-feminine creature. She's trying to forget this fear, but she remembers the repression. It's more whisper, less roar now, but he forgets to be quiet sometimes. He's still scared for her, this mother's son, because this mother's daughter is still a fucked up kind of feminine. 3. I will never be the woman I want to be, that I see in the mirror. My mother's son remains. We were together way too many days, too many weeks, too many months, too many years for him to disappear. We've shared way too many tears, all those pubescent fears, the start of my career. We're still friends, the kind that fade but never end, who have less and less in common but always history. He's here next to me, and so my kids, they'll always have a dad. This isn't sad. It's the reality of our relationship. It's never been a question. Except once. They said, "Do we still call you Dad?" My answer, a very definite sort of yes. 4. My son asked for boys' underwear when he was 6. I knew he was trans before he did, but we had to let him be, though his leading lady was never a very good actor. He tried to take up less space, but always hogged the stage, like most men in this world. He never knew how to be quiet, but then she never tried too hard to riot, never wanted to upset his mother, destined to be his sibling's brother, his father's son. I never knew quite how to help, still trying to figure out myself in secret, fearing my truth would hurt him, and yet my secrets did. They turned to anger. I wasn't always a good person. I hated the way I hid, so I stepped forward, hoping this would help my son. And so when he told me in Tim Hortons on Fraser Street in August 2018 that he was trans, I wasn't caught off guard by it at all. I smiled and said, yeah, I knew. He smiled and said, I figured you did too. 5. She calls me Mata, and my heart bursts open and joy spills out. She's walking now and saying words like gina and pish. That's vagina and penis, FYI. She still hasn't quite perfected them, but we love hearing her try. She knows our bodies are different. I'm not fully feminine, but finally fully me. My co-stars have made peace. He's more a silent partner now. She's the star of the show, yet ever earning for her defining role. Like my 2-year-old learns and grows. Will I ever be only she? Will he fade from my memory? I'll always be someone's son, someone's dad, someone's Mata. Will she ever ask why they call me dad? This 2, then 3, then 4-year-old? In the dead of winter or mid-August or cherry blossom season in dew-chilling park? Tim's on Fraser or Shoppers Drug Mart? 2020 or 21 or 22? I have no idea what I'd do, except smile and tell her about the man I was, the woman I am now, and how I'll always be her Mata, her sibling's dad, and her grandma's son.